call me. Promise that you never be lonely. Be the fam, that's what they call me.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the longest reigning ever JHW champion, Punkstar Rap, and welcome to the Punkstar Podcast, aka the Smoke Session, aka Get to Know This Wrestler. First ever time doing the Punkstar Podcast, and honestly, it's an honor. Feels great to be doing this, but none other than tonight, our first guest. This man, you haven't seen him since season 2. He's making his return, making waves here in JHW again, and he is none other than Cody Black.
Everything is on point. Crack a little peaceful. Before I want to
So Cody Black, aka the man Anthony Serrano, the first ever guest here on the Punkstar Podcast. How is it do, brother?
Hey man, it's been great.
That's good, man. That's good. It's honestly, I just gotta say, it's a pleasure to see you back here in JHW, man. We all miss you. But before we get into anything, this is the Smoke Sesh. So, are you cool with that?
Oh, you know I'm always down.
All right, you already know we gotta ask you right here. My blunt thing, your blunt thing right here. We'll pass it to each other, but I'm gonna wait on mine, okay?
All right, go ahead.
Let's start off with a couple questions. I want to know what. Okay. When did you tell us all when you got to JHW? When did it all happen?
Oh man, it's been a couple years. I remember the day I got the contract.
Right.
It was unexpected. I was ready to be a part of JHW, but I wasn't expecting it to happen so fast, you know.
Yeah.
So when I signed that contract, I was nervous, but I was also very excited. And then came my first promo, introducing myself. And you can't see it, but I was very nervous. Like, I didn't know what to say. I was stumbling on words sometimes.
Right.
You know, it was my first ever interview. So I didn't really know how to react to it.
Right. And so we got other words in. So you were the first ever signee to JHW. So what did that mean to you as a man, you know, coming in, performing your craft, going into the ring? Obviously, it's not a real ring.
Yeah.
I know that. But that doesn't take away from any of our athleticism, any of our hard work.
Over here. See, it's not the ring that makes the wrestler. It's the wrestler that makes the ring. It may not be a real ring, but we sure as hell make it our ring.
Right. Wrestling, that's facts. So you were the first ever JHW signee.
Mm-hmm.
You're going in, you're feeling good. Take me back to some of your first matches here into JHW. Tell me about that. Tell me how the experience was, how all the guys were. Tell me about it all. Come on. We all want to know.
You know, backstage, everyone I felt was a little nervous at first, but it was more excited over the nerves. Me, on the other hand, I was very nervous. I was stumbling back and forth backstage.
Right.
I didn't know how I was going to perform. I presented myself as the king of the twin blades. I thought it was going to work.
I mean, you sure as hell came out with fire. I mean, we've seen it in the previews, you know. You made your waves. Things weren't really starting to look good for you, though, at that time. Because I remember being there when JHW was first starting, you know, everyone's, you know, we're just picking up the fan base. We're all going on a run. And everyone was kind of leaping towards something, and it was like you were kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So what made you, like, what happened? Why did that roadblock happen? Like, what was causing that roadblock?
It actually took me a couple of years, like a couple of seasons to figure it out myself. And I thought to myself, you know, what happened? Because if you look back, my first match was against Leon Blanco.
Yeah. That's an old name right there.
Old name, but I walked into that match thinking I was going to win, and I had lost.
Right.
And I thought to myself, why did I do it? You know, was it the company didn't really favor me? They were very early on. And after a while, I started to realize that it wasn't the company. It was me personally that was, you know, fucking up my own career. I wasn't trying. I wasn't that dedicated. My gimmick, I didn't really know what to go off with the gimmick, you know?
Right.
Which is what brought me to, I guess, change, you know? That's when Twin Blade transformed into Fallen Angel.
Right. And that transformation, we going back to hardcore match. I love Fallen Angel. I love everything about him. I love your style as well. How you kind of changed your way of wrestling.
Yeah.
We can go back to. You can look at it, y'all. Through season 1, you can see how Twin Blade was. And, coming towards the end of season 1, now we got this new guy, Fallen Angel. You were coming out, you were doing different moves. You had an attitude on you, and I think a lot of people liked the Fallen Angel gimmick, and I think a lot of people thought that was you in your best element. So tell me what happened to that. What happened to the fire? What happened to being committed to that guy? Like, tell me about it. Bring me the inside the mind of the Fallen Angel.
I had a lot of matches as the Fallen Angel. One of them was against the current JW champion JJC before everything that happened.
Right.
And then I had the match with you. And really, it was the match with you that kind of made me see things differently. Because I fought my hardest. And the whole storyline was, Kid Fame was going to come attack me. And I was cool with that. Then the match ended, and I sat backstage and I just sat there and I thought hard. And the conclusion I came up with is, I'm not on this guy's level.
Right.
I'm not on your level. Even to this day, I'm not on your level. And I guess it pushed me to want to be better,
Right.
Which is when Cody Black started to, make his way into my mind. Not yet in JHW, but more into my mind. And I love Cody Black. The idea of this badass guy who wears a mask and he doesn't care. I love the idea.
Is that what you've always been trying?
Yeah, I felt like when I started, I feel like if I started at Cody Black's level and not at Twin Blade's level, I felt like my career would have skyrocketed just like everybody else.
Right. And that's another thing too. Like everyone went their own different way, but it was kind of like in a good way. You see, we had it was like Elion Blanco winning the first ever title in JHW. He was making waves for himself. Then you had Ralph, was what I used to be called back in season 1. I was making names for myself as cruiserweight division, and me and my matches with Kid Fame actually were being big, and I think it was when it really set off for you was our hardcore match. We got in, we pulled off the view amount. We did it all. And to watch those matches now, the knowledge we have now, and our wrestling ability now, is kind of like, wow. Like we're so much better now.
The improvement of every person in JHW is crazy.
Now let me ask you a question. I know it's your podcast, but I want to know about you. Who do you think is the most improved in JHW right now?
Most improved.
That is still on the current roster?
I gotta go JJC. I gotta go JJC. He started off as this guy who just wanted to be somebody, and from there he kind of like took off.
Yeah, he did. He honestly, that JJC, I just fought him. Crucial 50-minute Iron Man match. Go back and watch that, that man pours his heart out into the ring, and you can tell that each time you step in there with him. So, is that who you want your return match to be against, or no? Who do you have in mind for? What is that little for whom the bell tolls? You gonna give us a little sneak peek on that? What does that mean?
I actually thought about that, and I felt my opponent was made the moment I found the JHW title. You saw at Countdown to Extinction 2, I came out with the title, JJC's title.
So were you anonymous?
Yes, I was anonymous. And this is actually a really cool story.
It's crazy, because I bet you a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm about certain nobody expected it to be Cody Black. But I found it, and obviously in the first video you found it, outside. I believe it was on a chair. But that was just the first time. I let it be the first time. I didn't return it. I just, I thought maybe he lost it and to come back for it.
Right.
The second time, I was going for a jog. Just trying to stay fit. And I see this ditch. And inside the ditch was the JHW title. Full of dirt. And I looked at it and I thought, what the fuck? I was confused. Like this is the JHW championship. This is the title of titles for us. Who would leave this in a ditch?
Yeah, that's not what that is. All just on
Whoever it may have been, it was still very rude of them. That's something that we take with pride. Being JHW champion means you made it.
Right.
You're champion, you're the top guy. And even if you lose it, it doesn't take away the fact that you were on that list of champions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Now we're gonna go in. I have another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about some of your main rivals. Some of your main rivalries when you have with people. First name that comes up in everyone's mind when they think of a Cody Black rival is Kid Fame. Indeed. If I can bring back to the dark match of JHW, that was it was a unique match, by the way. What was going into that? What's the trilogy behind Kid Fame versus Cody Black?
I feel it definitely started with that match. he gave me a lot in that match, and I could see it. I see the passion, I see the fire, I see the heart. And after the match, I couldn't help but walk up to him, shake him up, and just congratulate him.
Like he's used to talent, and Kid Fame, he does have heart. You can tell that he wants this. He's putting in his all every day.
Mm-hmm.
Each day, every day. Each one of us is trying to become better. So that's the whole goal of this, for us to make it somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm going to take that, I'm going to bounce off what I said before. When I said being JHW champion, that is not the best you can do.
Well, yeah.
You can always improve. Being JHW champion, yeah, it means you're on top. But it doesn't mean you're better than everybody. Because somebody else can always improve and get to where you're at.
So let me ask you, being JHW, do you think this is JHW is the best backyard promotion right now?
I do. I've watched a lot of backyard wrestling promotions. And they have okay wrestling, but that's it. It's just wrestling.
And I'm not talking about the backyard wrestling, obviously, from 6 years ago. Like, I think it was, CHW and KBW and stuff. Of course, great promotions. Honestly, if you want to talk about backyard wrestling, great promotions. And I'm not talking about them because that was years ago. I'm talking about the present, we're talking about now. Like 2 years ago to now. That's backyard wrestling, so you say JHW.
For sure. And being a part of, in my opinion, the greatest backyard wrestling channel, me being a part of it makes me proud because it's like I'm helping, this company that started from nothing.
Nothing.
And just fucking skyrocketed.
Let me give the people, this is the Punkstar podcast. Let me give a little people a history lesson on how JHW came to be. JHW actually started way back in the day. Way back in the day. I'm talking about when we were really young. Talking about from 2014 year. 24. Oh, wow. Party. Wow.
And
But yeah, back in
Right.
2014, and it started in the basement. We didn't have recording, we didn't record at all, because we didn't have the camcorder. The JHW started in the basement on a futon mat, with a ladder and boxes. And it was just, that was the birth of it. And then fast forward 2018, JHW came out, and we had the technology, you know, we were finally old enough to get our own stuff to record.
JHW finally was on YouTube.
We put it out. We actually got the ring.
Mhm.
I don't like calling it trampoline because I don't go on there to jump. Honestly, I only go on there to train, take my bumps, and just honestly keep practicing. That's the only reason I ever get on that. So that's why I call it the ring, the JHW ring. We finally got a ring. It's when we took off. It's when it actually took off.
And actually, I wasn't with, Rav from the very beginning. We actually met years later. What was it, 2016, 17?
No, I've known Cody for a long time, but we didn't start wrestling and actually hanging out till like 2016.
And it wasn't even, Rob never presented this idea of JHW at the start. Once we started getting close, he never presented that. It was a little bit after.
It was because I wanted to make sure we had everything.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that we can actually be for certain. I would never keep any of you guys out the loop.
Yeah. And like I said before, I'm really happy that I'm a part of something this big.
Right. Now, let's get back. We kind of got sidetracked. Sorry about that. Giving you a little history lesson of JHW, but let me ask you about some guys that we don't really see no more. And bring up a good name, good friend of mine, really good friend of mine, Elion Blanc.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you thought about him.
What a guy. Like, those are the first words I ever heard in mind. What a guy. He was funny, he was kind, and he had what we had, which was that passion for wrestling.
And you know what's crazy though is that man never even, like, that's not, wrestling was art.
Yeah.
He honestly was doing it to help us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, he liked wrestling, but it's not that he didn't want to, but he joined, help us, and he obviously was better than he expected. Came in straight powerhouse.
The fans loved him.
Yeah.
He was the guy.
I mean, I got trashed in my championship match against him. The first ever championship, I got trashed by fans, everyone, Yeah, he was the guy at that time.
Yeah.
He was the guy. No doubt.
I will say, when I heard that he wasn't coming back, I was a little upset.
It was like losing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like losing someone, that you actually enjoyed being a part of. They brought a positivity to the area. It's okay, you're doing his own thing right now. He was doing better enough. But Elion Blanco was that was a good person, and I have another question in mind that I just want to sidetrack on. What are you gonna do this season to prove to everyone who said Cody Black was trash, to everyone who said Cody Black can't do it, that he should never even be in the championship scene? To all the people that doubted you, always put you last, what are you going to do differently, and what are you going to show them that's going to prove to everyone why you say you deserve to be in JHW, why you say you deserve to be in that new blood contract? Matthew, that's what you said, right? You said that. We're going to get more into that later on the podcast. Did we discuss that already?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. But, what are you going to do?
And I put a lot of thought into that. And I lately have been watching a lot of videos on new moves. And I want to try new things. And for once, I want to try to conquer that fear I have. I have a fear of slight height, which is why you never seem to do anything crazy crazy.
Well, I mean, not everyone's a hot fly.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like I could do it if I wanted to. There comes a point where I go to jump and my body panics. And it doesn't work out. And something else happens, like, oh, I kick him or something.
Right.
So I want to try to conquer that fear that had me and go for crazy spots like that.
Right.
I want to show the fans that I'm it, you know, that I belong here. Because obviously, you know, leading up to when I left, no one really cared about Cody Black. So that's why I want to take this season. I don't care how long it takes. I want to take this season to show everybody that Cody Black can be in that picture. That Cody Black just isn't, you know, he's there and he's not kind of guy. I want to show the fans that I can be on a championship level and not just a net cutter.
Right. Right. And I respect that. And I respect that coming from you, wanting to get yourself better and want to go in because, you know, I come from a guy like, but coming from a guy like me, you know, I take a lot of time and effort in my craft. Like, I go all out. Every match I get, I take it as like a championship match. And I feel like that's how everyone should take it, whether it's backyard wrestling, whether you're fully trained, you know, somewhere. Hopefully that's our goal. But I'm always take it like it's important. Because the more you show you have effort, the more you show that you're putting in, the more strength, the more power, the more technical you get. Like, just soak all that knowledge up into one. All the stuff you study, the tapes you study, the moves you practice, you do. Just always, just absorb everything. That's all I gotta say. Because, man, I tell you, tape studying, that takes the longest. And just studying up on it. Just lessons and learning, just having to learn. And then that's when you can, after you just learn all that, that's when you go take it to the ring. You try it. But as someone, with someone who's going to be at that same level as you. You know, same enthusiasm, but with someone who wants it just as bad as you. But let's talk more about this new blood contract.
Right.
So obviously, you say you get a call, you know, they say we have an idea, new blood contract for a match, title match, anywhere you want, anytime. They pick you first. The first signee gets picked to be part of the first ever new blood contract ladder match. Man, how does it feel?
Honestly, it feels great. You know, while training, you know, while they see me, you know, sometimes, you know, hitting the gym, I feel like they see that I want to be the top guy. And they see that enthusiasm, they see that fire, and then they start pushing me to where they originally wanted me to be.
Right.
And that feels great. That they are willing to push me that high.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna take that push and just lose. I plan on winning that contract match.
So that's what your goal is on right now. That's what you're set on in this contract match.
This contract match is gonna push Cody Black further. That gives Cody Black a chance at the title anytime, anywhere. It's a lot of weight on my shoulder, you know, on my shoulders.
It's everything you've been looking for.
Yeah, everything I've been looking for. So when I win the contract, I'm going to cash in on JJC. He's not gonna expect it, but I'm gonna be there. It could be after a match. It could be at his house. All I need is a ref.
That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that attitude. I like that confidence that this Cody Black is bringing out. I like how you're more into it with yourself, you know. And I see that you want it. And I like that. And going on to my next question, what is, like, is Cody Black coming back? If you didn't have no mask, so is Cody Black coming back Cody Black, or is this the Cody Black you always wanted to be?
I feel
Like, I'm kind of confused. I couldn't get the words out. I'm kind of confused, like, what is it, like? I don't know, I'm kind of confused with the whole gimmick change. I mean, I know I did a lot, but I've always been the same guy. Like, you've always had some type of different, like, a different side of you. And you're like broken pants. But what is this Cody Black?
You know, looking back at my matches, I realized that I was very successful with what? What was that? My fault. So good. My fault. What's so funny?
Oh my god, you ever like say something and then go back and be like, yo, that sounds like, that shit makes sense what I was saying.
You just feel like you're rambling?
Yeah, like, does that make any sense, bro? Oh man, my fault.
We keep listening to you.
Yeah, obviously, it's a live podcast. It's not live, but it's a podcast. Alright, go ahead. Yeah, it's fun. So, alright, these are the good times. So, okay, we're laughing now. Let's go on to some of the good times of JHW that you had, even behind the scenes with any of the guys. Like, obviously, JHW is like a family.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are some of the good times? Bring up some of the other memories. Let's see if I can think of one too. Tell the
You
thing.
remember that time where you and David were rapping in the living room?
Before the match? Man, we would always have like a little rap battle all the time, just going off. Remember that time? He went to do the move and his foot fell through the hole and he fell out the trampoline. Oh man.
And you know, when I was gone, I really did miss those good times.
It was a good time. We were like, man, that was like when, you know, you had all the OGs. Those were the beginning stages of JHW. I think the beginning stages of JHW is always, or the beginning stages of anything is always going to be the best. Because, like, you know you don't have no fan base.
Mm-hmm.
It's just y'all just doing it. Then it becomes something. You know? And then it starts getting more serious.
It started as just, let's, upload wrestling on YouTube.
Type. Yeah.
To just, this is a rivalry between, Raz and JJC. It's not just wrestling anymore. There's a story behind it.
That's when it started getting more serious. That's when, at that time, it's either like, you guys started getting more serious, start like wanting it more. Or that's when you either fade out from me and be like, I don't even want to do this no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was split like that for the beginning guys. But it's okay. 'Cause everything worked out for everyone.
Because at the end of the day, we're here, we're back, and we're here to show, YouTube and the JW fan base that we're
on fire right
that
now.
we're on fire, that we're it.
That we got the it factor. And I'll tell you, man, like every match we put out, everything that we try to do is like it comes straight from just pure wanting it. When you want something so bad, and it's just that's where the whole goal. Whole goal is to actually. It's not about, for me, it's not about being rich. It's not about having all of this fame. It's about just doing what I love and having family, And wrestling is what I love. No, I'm just playing. But, man. But we're gonna get into this. I think that's it. That's crazy. Is that it?
I can't think of anything.
We covered everything. That's Cody Black. You have anything else you want to say to the fans before we let out?
Like I said,
Like, tell us.
I'm calling out JJC's security.
Hold on. In the comments below, you got any questions for Cody Black?
So the next time we ever do one of these,
Let us know. And also let us know in the comments below who you want to see in the next Punkstar podcast. Anybody from Jay's Church. Just, you know what, just comment below. Who do you want to see in the next Punkstar podcast? Thank you everybody for tuning in here from the Steel. You already know, Punkstar Rap, Cody Black, Punkstar Podcast. We out, baby. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. You already know, hey, come here. You already know. Thank y'all. Punkstar Rap, Cody Black. Thank you.
Be the fam, that's what they call me. Promise that you